Damon Alexander, who will be presenting medals to Lieutenant John Bordelon, Detective Josh Dawson, and Sergeant Colin Ney. Damon? You might have to...
Is that on? Okay. Thank you, Mayor. It is my privilege to come before you today, council members, and before the public that are presented here today to present these awards to these fine officers. I'd like to start with a brief explanation of why we're here today so that everyone will be aware of the bravery that these men exhibited. On January the 10th of 2022, Lawton Police Narcotics Detectives were conducting surveillance on known drugs. During a second volley of gunfire, a round struck Officer Bordelon's lapel mic and ricocheted into his face. He was forced to drop out of the pursuit because of unknown injuries to his face. But he had the presence of mind and encouraged the other officers to continue the pursuit. After several miles, and this is brief, as you guys probably recall, that was a lot longer than this is going. It was a very long pursuit, and after several miles, the driver lost control of the vehicle and crashed. Suspects bailed from the vehicle and fled on foot. The detectives, with several other officers from neighboring communities, were able to apprehend all the suspects. Each suspect was charged with multiple narcotic offenses, eluding police, and shooting with intent to kill. As a result of the brave actions taken by these officers, the Oklahoma Association of Chiefs of Police would like to recognize and award Detective Josh Dawson, Officer Colin Ney, Detective Melaine Powers, and Officer John Bordelon with the Medal of Valor. And Chief Smith is going to assist me in presenting these to you, gentlemen. Pull it out. While the chief is placing the ribbons on, just so that you folks know that the Medal of Valor is awarded for acts of exceptional bravery with imminent risk of serious bodily injury while demonstrating exceptional courage in an extremely dangerous situation. When we are pursuing known fleeing felon suspects that are firing at us, that's an extremely dangerous situation. So I commend you on your actions and your bravery. In addition to receiving the Medal of Valor, the OACP would like to present the Purple Heart to Officer John Bordelon for his injuries sustained while performing his duties during this incident. The Purple Heart is awarded to any law enforcement officer who, in the line of duty, is shot or stabbed in performing their duties while serving or protecting those whose lives who are placed in danger. Your community and I commend you for the work that you do each and every day. And we hope and pray that your lives and your family's lives are not affected by this incident any further, and that you'll continue forward. And if you would join me in appreciate it. Thank you for your service.
Come on down the front, please. Okay, and that brings up the next proclamation, which is Red Ribbon Week. Do we have representatives of Red Ribbon Week? Okay. Okay, how you guys doing? And who do we have here?
Brooke Anthony, Wichita Mountains Prevention Network.
Okay.
Sherelle Grubbs, Wichita Mountains Prevention Network.
Tammy Morgan, ASAP, Fort Sill.
Okay.
Enrica Johnson. Enrica Johnson.
And Erica Johnson with
Right.
Wichita Mountains.
Okay, very good. So the proclamation says, whereas Wichita Mountains Prevention Network has a long history of providing substance abuse prevention, education to the community, law enforcement, medical first responders, and healthcare professionals, and whereas Wichita Mountains Prevention Network and the Lawton Fort Sill Coalition has been participating in Red Ribbon Week since 1988. Whereas alcohol and drug abuse affect individuals, families, and communities across the nation. Whereas it is an imperative that visible, unified efforts by community members be launched to prevent drug abuse, and Red Ribbon Week offers citizens the opportunity to demonstrate their commitment to drug-free lifestyles. The Red Ribbon Week will be celebrated in communities across the nation on October 23rd through 31st, and whereas business, government, law enforcement, media, healthcare providers, religious institutions, schools, and other community-based organizations will demonstrate their commitment to healthy, drug-free lifestyles, Red Ribbons are participating in drug prevention activities. Whereas the community of Lawton Fort Sill further commits our resources to ensure the success of Red Ribbon Week. I thereby proclaim October 23 through 31 Red Ribbon Week and encourage all Lawton Fort Sill citizens to participate in drug prevention education activities, not only during Red Ribbon Week, but also throughout the year, making a visible statement that we are strongly committed to drug-free lifestyles. Let's give them a round of applause. Who gets this? All right, now tell us a little bit about what you do. Okay. You are elected spokesman.
Yes, well, we're with Wichita Mountains Prevention Network, Lawton Fort Sill Community Coalition, and in a nutshell, the coalition is a group of organizations and individuals that work together to foster a safe and healthy environment for everyone. Excuse me, for everyone who lives here in Comanche County. We have numerous organizations, so please feel free to look us up if you'd like to get involved as well.
All right. Thank you, guys. Let's give one more round of applause. All right, is Donald Wayne Smith here? All right, Mr. Smith, come on up. I got to get my notes. Mr. Smith is here today to receive the Mayor's Citation of Civic Valor. Mr. Smith is a window installer, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And the way I understand it, you were working at a house and you had the smell of gas, and you worked to get all of the occupants, some elderly, out of the house. Is
Yes,
that right? Saving their lives.
That is correct, in the neighborhood.
All right. I think that's awesome. Let me read this Citation of Valor. By the way, I've been mayor almost 5 years. This is my first one, so we're really appreciative of you.
Thank you.
Donald Wayne Smith, this is presented to Donald Wayne Smith, the Mayor's Citation of Civic Valor, in recognition of his swift and selfless thinking while on the job, detecting a hazardous gas leak at a customer's house. He acted decisively to evacuate residents, exemplifying the highest standards of courage and compassion. His actions serve as an inspiring example of how one person's intervention can safeguard lives. Mr. Smith has gone above and beyond to help others in need, embodying the spirit of a good Samaritan. Let's all give Mr. Smith a big round of applause.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You want to say a few words?
No, I don't.
You know what you? All right. Well, listen. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all for awarding me. It means a whole lot.
God bless you, sir. Thank you. One more time. All right, now we move on to the reports by the Mayor, City Council. We're going to start with the Mayor Pro Tem, Ward 8.
Nothing for me.
Okay, Ms. Johnson.
Just wanted to remind everyone that we're still accepting applications for the Lawton Youth Council, and the application can be found on our city website.
Okay, Mr. Uyghur, Mr. Hampton.
As always, Farmers Market, they're having their food truck Tuesday today. Go by and get you some food over there and get some fresh vegetables. There are vendors there and that are open. And I also wanted to say I got to attend the opening ceremonies of the International Festival, and it was wonderful. For those of you that attended know exactly what I mean. It's great to see new Americans, brand new Americans. That's a wonderful, wonderful sight for my veteran heart. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Gill.
Just to clarify, as always, false information and conspiracy theories on Facebook and the social network. There will be no, I repeat, no charge for kids to get a license for trick or treat. Again, no charge to the kids. Thank you.
That was on Facebook?
That was on Facebook. Like I said, there's a lot of false information and a lot of conspiracy theories. Probably one of the biggest things our public relations department fights. If it's on Facebook, it's most likely wrong. Thank you.
So that just drives home the point that Facebook is where you go to be misinformed, right?
Exactly.
Ms. Chapman.
The Meadowbrook Hines Neighborhood Watch last night had our ice cream social and had a great time at the Fred Bentley Park. Thank you, Parks and Rec, for getting that area mowed and cleaned up. And I appreciate Chief Smith came, and everyone loves meeting him. And we had new families with children there, so it was really a nice event.
All right. Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have two things. I want to thank the police and fire department for helping me out during the last meeting in my medical episode, but more importantly, I want to recognize our mayor as the mayor of the year, as presented by the Oklahoma City.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Our mayor takes a lot of grief, but he does a lot of work, and he's been doing a lot of good in the last, and since he's been in office, and this is an award that was very well deserved, and I'm very proud to serve with you, sir.
Thank you. And thank you. So I do want to say thank you for bringing that up, but you know, you don't get awards like that for what you do. You get awards like that for all the people around you and what they do. And have a great, first of all, we have great citizens, but we also have a great council. I have the honor of working with a great council. And then the staff, you know, all the bright ideas we coming up with, it's a staff that has to do all the work. And so I really appreciate the staff. Could you help me appreciate all those around me? And Ms. Hankins.
Thanks for mentioning that, Kelly. That was a well-deserved honor that our mayor had. And it represents our city well, too, not just the mayor, but the city as a whole. And so, I mean, we should be proud of that rather than, you know, I mean, that's something to be proud of, rather than find something negative in that. The other thing I wanted to say, I've tried to point out the things that we can do in Lawton, like the International Festival is an example. There's something going on all the time. What a great place to take your children, and you go there, educate children about those people giving up their citizenship in their country to be a U.S. citizen. That's pretty big stuff. And there was a young man there from Vietnam, and I thought, wow. But there were lots of fun things for kids to do too. But, you know, take your children to things and help them learn about these things. That's so important in their growth. Thank you.
And thank you. And while we're on the International Festival, I want to say that the opening ceremonies were awesome, as was the entire deal. And we all probably have our favorite performance groups that were there, and certainly one of them would have been your favorite because it was great. It was nonstop entertainment, run back and forth between the two tents. During the opening ceremonies, I exchanged gifts with foreign liaison officers at Fort Sill, and we put some of those gifts out here if you want to come up and look at them right here on the edge of the dais, and you're more than happy to do that. And that's just a part of what we do to continue to build relationships with different people groups, including different countries. And I'm proud to be the mayor of a city that cares about building relationships. Now we move on to audience participation. Anyone having an item of business to present to the City Council that does not appear on the agenda, please come forward at this time. And I believe Mr. Gary Arnold wants to speak. Mr. Arnold? And Mr. Arnold, if you'll give us your name and address, please. There should be a button there. There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Gary Arnold, Gary Lee Arnold. My address, I believe, I'm bad with my mother's address. I just moved back to town, grew up here, 2314 Northwest 76th Street, Lawton, Oklahoma, 73505. So to start the timer now? Okay. All right. So, not good at public speaking. I've never done it. You know, this is my first time doing it in front of a large group. So, going to do my best. You're lucky I only get 3 minutes because I would keep you here for days. So, my agenda today is to address mental health services in Lawton, Oklahoma. Through my own investigation, which I'm no expert, I want to say that right now. I'm opinionated, and I have ideas on what we can do to better things, but by no means do I think my way is the only way to go. My point here is to open up discussion about these matters and get to a point where we can move forward, because I grew up here. You know, I had a lot going on in my childhood. I made a lot of mistakes, you know, and those are on me. I took accountability for those, okay? Nobody can say I didn't, because right here today, standing before you, completely different person. My family, you know, grew up here. My grandmother immigrated here, and you know, she opened her, you know, there's things within that I'm not going to get into, but as it stands, she was an aspiring business owner. She opened a diner here back in the day. I should be able to participate in that, but I can't, because you know, back whenever she had more faith in the community, like she should be able to let her kids go out and participate with other children, other members of the community without worry. But I'm not sure exactly what happened. I wasn't there, but I know they ended up addicted, tore my father's side of the family apart. So when it comes to this, I feel very strongly about how we should approach things. I have my opinions about how we persecute people for petty crimes. I'm not saying they should not be punished. I was punished, and though, yes, it may have helped me in the long run, it did not do anything for my frame of mind. It made me bitter. It made me angry. The only thing that healed me, mentorship. And I only got that because I got away from Lawton for a while. So when it comes to these things, I have to hurry up here. We, the state, fund our mental health services now at over $350 million. You would not realize that by the looks of Lawton. I have talked to multiple people within the Lawton Police Department trying to figure out why exactly our policy is only if they're suicidal or, homicidal. And I have talked to Terry Lee over at the department of, over at Taliaferro, and it's come to my attention we're not doing enough to access those funds. I've been told that the state decides that, but doesn't not the city request those funds? I will be speaking with you guys further to kind of get to the bottom of this because it is a very important issue to me, and I'm not leaving it alone. Have a great day.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Johnson has asked that I'll give her your phone number. She can reach you. Pass that down, please. Is there anyone else that would like to come forward during audience participation? Yes, sir. We need your name and address, please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Richard J. Warren, 2418 Northwest 80th Street, Lawton, Oklahoma. Simple request. When we redo the contract for the bus latch system, can we make sure that they put in covers and benches at all the bus stops? That's my request. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for coming. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Name and address, please.
Hello, my name's Marcia Cronk. I'm at 5668 Southwest Indiana Road. I'm here to support Lawton Animal Welfare once again for support with the
Okay,
animals.
we're going to be talking about animal welfare during the meeting, and we found out yesterday in an open records meeting that we cannot talk about items on the agenda during audience participation. So I'm going to ask you to hold that until we have some opportunity here in just a minute.
That sounds great. I
Okay?
appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to come forward at this time? Yes, sir. Please give us your name and address.
Justin Harrell, 3212 Northeast Cimarron Trail. The cobalt plant, there's been a severed of ties with technology. From what I've read through just on the news, they severed ties because of benchmarks and deadlines. I think what we need to know is their in-house team that's going to be covering that now. How do they expect to design, test, put in production, and manufacture a safe cobalt refining system for our community? I feel that Republic paper gets a bad rap because everybody smells Republic paper on the west side. Luckily, I live on the east side, so. But sulfur dioxide is a byproduct of refining cobalt. You guys ever smelled sulfur? It's way worse than Republic paper. I'm not saying we should stop business, stop construction. I think we should put a hold on it and get some answers from this company that has only been in business a year and has very little to none refining experience. The whole thing to back this, quoting, this is a cutting edge technology, this is safe, and now those ties are severed. And where does that leave our community? This would be the first cobalt refining facility in the United States of America. Have we been duped as the community to take that on? Why has nobody else done it? Why Lawton? Why our money? And now that ties have been severed with the technology, 30 years, 30 patents, they're out. They're done. Who's going to keep us safe now? I know there's a town meeting October 11th. I do plan on attend. What I'm asking you guys is take these questions, write them down, and help us get some answers just so we know. We just want to be informed. We want to know we're safe. I don't want to stop it. I don't want to deny it, but let's step back and take a look at what is being asked of our community, safety-wise, DEQ-wise. Let's protect us, long-term, big picture. Not right now money, big picture down the road money. That's what I ask of the council and the mayor today.
All right, thank you for coming. And while we can't have a conversation back and forth, we can announce that on October 11th at 6 p.m. at McMahon Auditorium, there will be an opportunity for everybody to ask questions concerning the cobalt refinery. And we look forward to that presentation. Is there anyone else that would like to come forward during this time of audience participation? Seeing none, I will close audience participation. At this time, we'll move on to the consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted with one motion. Should discussion be desired on an item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda prior to action and considered separately. Council, I need to poll for discussion item 4, 10, 11, and 12. Are there any other items that you would like pulled? Do I have a motion? Motion to approve. Okay, so your motion is to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item 4, 10, 11, and 12. Is there a second? I do have a second. Please vote. And the motion carries 8-0. Before we move on, we're going to test our mics here. Somebody else try to turn on their mic. Okay, Broderick, we're back to only one mic at a time working.
That one was left on out there.
Thank you. Now try. Okay.
We're okay now. All right.
What we might need is an employee down here to keep that one off.